Hey, glad you're with us for Second Cup. Have a special guest here, Jim McMullen from Scouting, the Boy Scouts of America, now branding itself as something completely different. So we're going to talk to Jim about that in just a sec. But we're also going to dig into the Super Bowl and how Patrick Mahomes lost and how Saquon Barkley won.
Yep.
Which is
Repeat,
awesome.
Not going to happen. Not this year. Boo-hoo. I think
so
we're
great.
just kind of starting the week. Clean slate, complete refresh. We're done with all that
So
stuff.
we want to hear from you as we say good morning to you. And my friend Jim is here. Jim, good morning to you. We also want to talk about how the Scouting Association is celebrating a major milestone.
Huge.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
let's talk about that.
115 years of scouting, across America. And so, in fact, this past weekend, if you were up in the falls, you would have seen the falls lit up in red, white, and blue.
Yes.
In celebration of that milestone.
What does that mean to you? I mean, talk about what your position is within Scouting and why it's such a big deal.
Sure. I'm what we call the Deputy Scout Executive, so the Assistant Executive Director for our Scouting Council, which stretches across all of Western New York.
Wow, okay.
And then down into the Twin Tiers. So we have also Corning and Elmira. So it's quite a stretch. 300 plus scouting program groups. You know, you'd hear about a Cub Scout pack or a Scout troop all across that region with more than 5,000 youth members.
Wow.
Served by a couple of thousand volunteers who really deliver that program in each town.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, so much has changed over 115 years, obviously. What is it you think that has kept the Scouts going through all this time?
I think just core beliefs, you know, our ideals to develop character, to promote active citizenship, and to do it in a fun way, you know. So we get kids outdoors, even in crazy weather like we've had. You know, we had a winter fun day at Letchworth last weekend.
Wow.
You know, it's 20 degrees. Well, guess what?
Get out there.
Get out there. Hey, but don't get out there unprepared, right? You come with mom or dad, grandma, grandpa come out, and the leaders, and they, that's sort of the scouting motto is, of course, be prepared. So be prepared for anything, you know, whether it's a beautiful day, if it's a sunny day, if it's a wintry day, and be prepared to really participate as a citizen, as a good neighbor, you know.
You know, we heard from so many people last year when the Scouts brought in some of the younger kids who were involved with Scouting, and they really talked about how great of an experience this was. So we want to hear from you this morning. Do you have a daughter? Do you have a son who's involved in Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts? Or do you have a daughter who maybe is in Boy Scouts or Scouting, I think as it's called now? Last year we saw one girl who was part of the Boy Scouts, and I loved that. She was having a great time.
Sure. Well, in fact, that's part of the reason for the rebranding to the name Scouting America.
Okay.
Because now we, of course, girls have been able to join what's known as the Boy Scouts of America since 2019. But still, families weren't quite aware of that.
Sure, yeah.
Right?
And
So
Barbara is saying, welcome, Jim, proud sister of an Eagle Scout from Troop 18. Aaron Minkowski's son, an Eagle Scout as well. I mean, these young people who are really involved in becoming an Eagle Scout, it's not an easy accomplishment. It is something really to be proud of.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's, they have to make a choice really to do that. And the sort of the pinnacle of the piece that we're most proud of is the Eagle Scout projects that create some substantial change in their local community, where that Eagle Scout has not just sort of checked boxes and done the things they were told to do over time, but they've made active decisions, earned merit badges, which means they've learned a lot about different aspects of life on their climb to the Eagle Scout.
And then how does that prepare them for later in life, right? We're talking about young people making an impact in their community, but how does that propel them forward?
Sure. Well, I'd say probably the most important thing that comes out of the Eagle Scout project, of course, beyond what it's done for the community, is that it develops that sense of, hey, I can create from whole cloth a project where I decide what that outcome's going to be, work with others in a team spirit, but also develop that leadership to sort of pull it off, to bring a team together. So they become pretty effective project managers, which, we all need.
Yeah, right. And good training for the future. Jim, speak to the folks out there who are watching this morning, because we're seeing a lot of people who were Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts.
Sure.
Marguerite saying we had the best kids and parents in our Boy Scout troop many years ago. Somebody wants to get involved today. Talk about how
Sure.
and what you would suggest for those people.
Well, so the how is pretty easy. There's two places you can go for information. One is gfcscouting.org, importantly, and that's for Great Falls Scouting, which is the name of the local scouting council. Another place you can find information is beascout.org. And beascout.org, if you go to that, you put in your zip code and it tells you who to call. You wouldn't be calling me, you'd be calling the local leaders.
Okay.
You know, whether that local Cub Scout leader or local Scouts BSA leader for older kids. Scouting programs start in kindergarten.
Wow.
Wow,
Okay.
okay, cool.
Yeah,
Cub
yeah, yeah.
Scouts, right?
Cub Scouts.
I
Yep.
remember that.
Yep, Cub
That's
Scouts
awesome.
first, and that program runs through the 5th grade at various levels, and then you'd move on to Scouts BSA, sort of the more classic, you know, the old time Rockwell pictures of the Scouts out doing things in the community, and sometimes you know. They meet at the church, or they meet at the fire hall. They might meet at their school. But the best way to find that out is to go to those two websites. You get connected with a local leader, and they'll get you signed up.
All about finding community.
Are you guys having a party celebration for 115?
We are, but we kind of do it locally.
Yeah.
So it's each town. They have Scouts can in February choose a Sunday to celebrate Scout Sunday. And that they would maybe coordinate with their local church. So there's some community celebrations that go on there. Of course, each Cub Scout pack has a blue and gold ceremony each year in the spring to celebrate their year. And we do as a council, we'll celebrate this in May when we come together to celebrate the accomplishments of our volunteer leaders.
Jim, my mom is here with us this morning, and she
Wonderful.
recalls the days that I was a Tiger Cub, and then I think I maxed out at a Weeblo. I was done after that, Jim.
What?
I mean, I think when they had me making my own cars, I was like,
Sure.
can't do it, Jim.
You
For the
could do
Pinewood,
it.
for the Pinewood Derby, I was like, exactly, James. Yep.
Yeah.
And I didn't win, and I'm like, I'm a loser. I can't do
Oh,
this.
no. I would tell you, you talk about the Pinewood Derby, and anybody watching, of course, who was a Scout, they know at the Pinewood Derby, you get that car, and it's the challenge, of course, is not to disappoint your child, because they come home with a block of wood with some plastic wheels and some.
What am I supposed to do with this?
What do I do with this? And of course, you know, some of those parents are engineers, and they come in with some pretty slick stuff, or artists. And then, you know, my son and I show up with it still looks like a lot like a block of wood. And, you know, sometimes those win.
It's true. You're right.
You don't know.
All
You
about the
never know.
aerodynamics.
Yeah, you never know.
I remember the rain gutter regatta. That was fun. You had to build a boat and sail it along in the rain gutters.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I was an indoor child. I didn't know anything.
Well, for the indoor child, I will tell you. But here's how the Scout program works, especially with the Cub Scouts. They do it with a parent,
Yes.
you know, or with another caregiver, you know, whoever an adult who will work with them as a partner. You go through that book. There's a lot of indoor stuff in there, and that's where most of the learning occurs. You know,
Cool.
well, we always say we trick kids into joining because it's fun and adventurous, but we sneak a little learning in there.
That's how you
You know,
do
where
it.
you learn life skills, you learn how to work with others, you learn about, you know, flag etiquette,
Sure.
things that sometimes you wish more people knew. Right.
No doubt. Well, Jim, please come back. We would love to have you back, and we'd love to have those kids back again. Charlotte, what were they here for last year? I can't remember. Yes, it was
Okay,
recruiting.
got it.
Okay, and they were so into it.
Oh yeah.
They loved it.
Yeah.
They had a
Bring their
great time.
cars in. We'll have our own derby.
There you
Oh,
go.
That's a great idea.
That's right.
Channel
So
17.
I don't want to miss this opportunity. You were here for recruitment season. Well, we do the bulk of new kids join in the fall, whether that's September, October.
Great.
They're not stuck only joining that. Scouting accepts new members year round. So if somebody's picking up the phone today and giving us a call or getting on one of those websites to connect with us.
And
you can join scouting anytime.
we're linking our viewers to those websites here. John in the back
Yep.
put a link in the comments. So if you are interested, please check out one of those links. 115 years of scouting. What a milestone. What a huge accomplishment, Jim. Thank you so much
Excellent.
for joining us.
Enjoy
Great
the
Thank you.
to meet you.
celebration. Thanks
Great.
for being here with us.
Alrighty,
Good to
wonderful.
meet you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so let's talk now about the Super Bowl here. So the Super Bowl 49 happened in New Orleans, and we were able to see Patrick Mahomes lose. I love this.
All morning when we were talking about it, we were talking about the final score, how they were completely left to a goose egg in the first half. And I just couldn't help but have this grin and smile on my face to think about they were going for the 3P. They were trying to make history. You know, they stomped over us to get there.
Right.
And you know what? Denied.
I think that it's great. I also think that Patrick Mahomes is a huge crybaby. I think he's overrated. And I mean, look, if you're from Western New York, you can't, but love to hate him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was,
right?
I'm still a little upset because the Bills deserve to be there.
Yeah.
They could have actually competed in that game. I can't believe that team that I watched last night beat the Bills 2 weeks ago. Like, it's just baffling to me that we even got to this point. Still trying to lick my wounds and get over that a little bit, but it was just sweet revenge to watch them lose.
I didn't watch really a single moment of the game. I hate to say it. Well, that's not true. I mean, I watched a moment of the game. I turned the game on with 2 minutes left in the second quarter
Mhm.
because I wanted to see the halftime show. I wanted to see Kendrick. I wanted to see him.
You want to see Kendrick?
But I saw that last interception of this first half,
Mhm.
and I was like, okay, I saw the score. I'm like, okay.
We're
I'm like,
good.
all is right with the world.
Yeah.
Don't need to watch anything else.
My friends and I, all week, we were like, we're not watching. And then Sunday came up and we were like, are we really not watching? Are we going to actually do something? And we were like, you know what? Let's go to Chili's. We went to Chili's. We got a triple dipper, the appetizer thing with the mozzarella sticks and the little like burger things.
Mhm.
Delicious. They were playing it, but we weren't like actively watching. Like
Yeah,
it was
you're
on
with
in the
your
background.
friends.
And then we went over to like where the bar is so we could hear halftime and enjoy that. And then I went home and went to bed. I didn't even watch the second half.
I love what Denise said. The way Casey lost, that's how we felt when we lost. I hope they're hurting. Howard says, went to bed at 6:30, then asked Google this morning who
Mhm.
won. I was glad to hear what I heard, but could not have cared less about watching it. I'm
Barb?
with you 100%.
Barb cracking me up. I watched the inside of my eyelids during the football game.
Mhm.
Probably more entertaining, honestly, Barb.
And Anita, right? Seriously, Anita, the refs were scared to cheat with the Chiefs because the world has their number now, and the Chiefs proves they can't win without the refs by their side.
Now, aside from the football, which some people were boycotting, some people were enjoying the Chiefs meet their demise, there was also the halftime show, and Lawrence chiming in and saying it was horrible. I'm hearing a big 50-50 split. I think that people who either don't like rap or don't know Kendrick Lamar, I can understand how you wouldn't like this kind of performance. Not saying by any means that it was the best or that it was even top 5, but I enjoyed myself. And I think if you know the context around a lot of the Kendrick Lamar lore, it was fun. And I had a great time. So I don't know. I thought it was fun.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't mind it. I liked it because I like his music, but I think it lacked energy in the sense that
Right. It wasn't something that we could all get up and clap to by
Yeah.
any means. It wasn't necessarily like a big uniting moment where we could all I feel like Rihanna was a little lacking of energy, but
She was pregnant, though.
She was pregnant though, of course. Like that's why.
Right.
But I think that at the end of the day, we were all singing the songs because we all knew them.
Exactly.
You can't really get up and sing along with your family to some of these Kendrick Lamar songs. Della says, love the halftime show. If you don't like rap, don't say it was bad. But I do
Right.
like sometimes with rap and performances like that, you kind of have to know
yeah,
the
Samuel L.
songs or
Jackson.
know the background. But Elizabeth says Samuel Jackson was my favorite part. He's just so fun. So the minute I saw him on the screen, I was like, oh, this is going to be a production.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, to see him dressed as Uncle Sam too. What I thought was cool, like the dancers were all dressed in red, white, and blue, but then created that American flag. And I'm watching like some of the Monday morning quarterbacking about the performance and kind of getting a little bit more of the analysis when you kind of go and read. It's interesting what people pick up on, I think, when you're
Yeah.
doing that kind of a performance. There's a social commentary that goes along with it as well. And I thought that especially having the president in the audience spoke volumes.
For
It's
sure.
like, are you talking to an audience of one, or are you talking to a certain segment of the population? It was an interesting
Yeah.
conversation.
Well, Crystal says Kendrick Lamar is so smart with his music. And I'm interested, Lauren, in what you didn't like about it. Was it the energy thing? Because you do like rap. That's what I've been seeing mostly, is that people who don't like rap didn't like it. But if you like rap, what was it exactly that like you didn't like? I mean, it wasn't necessarily like that big, like, woohoo.
Right,
Kelly
exactly.
making a big point here. It's Kendrick. What do you expect? You're not watching a hair band. It's definitely different strokes for different folks kind of thing. I can see it, in a couple years, will we still be talking about it? Probably not, but I didn't have a bad time. And again, like for the most part, I feel like people weren't watching anyway.
Right. I mean, interesting to see like celebrities like Serena Williams. And when you're watching that for the first time, you're like, what the hell is Serena Williams doing? She's a tennis player. Why is she standing on
But with the
Super Bowl stage?
context.
Right, exactly. Interesting. Who knew that Serena Williams dated Drake at some point, and Drake and Kendrick Lamar don't see eye to eye?
They had
Kendrick Lamar
beef.
calling Drake a pedophile on national TV. Holy cow.
Huge moment. It was just bonkers. And I don't know. I felt like they were getting low. They were like moving and dancing. I don't know. I had fun. Anita's cracking me up. The Chiefs lost, but my number was one. Thank you,
Awesome.
Philadelphia. Let me hold $1, girl.
How about this? Peter.
He's from Jamestown.
He sure is. Nick Sirianni is from
Local guy?
Chautauqua County, and I don't think he's single. I think, in fact, that he has a wife and children. But hey, whatever. Doesn't mean anything.
Commercials. Did you watch any of the commercials? Any thoughts? Barb says, always love the commercials and watch on YouTube. I don't know. I didn't really, nothing stood out to me commercials wise. There was nothing. Oh, here's a close up look at Sirianni and his wife and child.
Okay. I
That's
did miss
so
it. You're
funny.
right.
I didn't realize that Lady Gaga was there until halfway through. Okay.
What?
Best news yesterday. He wasn't fired. I don't know. The only thing I saw was that he's likely not returning. I don't know if he was fired.
Interesting.
Let me double check on that. And Lauren says, yes, it was a lack of energy. I feel you on that. I was okay with it. I had a good time, but I do like, there wasn't that like, woohoo, like big moment.
Marguerite wondering, what was Taylor Swift wearing? She was wearing a white
was
shirt
wearing
with jeans.
Yes, she kept it simple. She kept it cute.
I thought it was fine.
I'm looking at this Aaron Rodgers thing, by the
Danielle
way.
said, love the potty commercial right before the halftime. Yeah, I thought that was cute.
Oh, that was cute.
Connie said, I heard commercials were 50-50. I didn't see really one or any, to be honest. Kelly says he was not fired yet.
Okay, I'm seeing Jets tell Aaron Rodgers they're moving on in face-to-face meeting. So, I mean, all but.
I mean, like, I get it. And here's why, because he also is a little toxic, I would suggest.
There was a lot of talk about change coming to the Jets, and then Aaron Rodgers came in, he tears his Achilles or whatever, and then, here he is, big spotlight, 40 years old, and he's not able to make it happen. So at this point, I really don't know what you do.
Such is life.
Marguerite was not down with Taylor Swift's fit. She says
Why?
she looked like she was going to a baseball game, which, I mean, I guess is not a bad thing.
I thought she kept it simple and classic.
I thought she kept it cute. She has her staple red lip. I thought she looked good. I did not like people booing her, though.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I mean, the whole crowd, when I saw that clip, I was just, and then you could see her go to her friend, what's going on?
Can we talk about that for a
That
second?
stinks.
Okay, here's what I wanted to talk about Taylor Swift being booed. Like her or hate her, like her music, hate her music, it is what it is. But is it because she's a woman supporting her boyfriend who's a professional football player that we feel that it's okay to like belittle her like that? I don't know. I feel like that's just so rude and disrespectful.
No, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. Like, you're never going to catch me listening to Fortnite or whatever. You're, singing the songs, and I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. But I have respect for her as an artist and as a person. And it's undeniable that she has a huge fan base. She has a lot of popular music. And I say, don't yuck someone's yums. If people like it, let them like it. There's no need to yuck it. But she, as a person, hasn't done anything. I mean,
Right.
She's just been a part of football more because her boyfriend plays on the team. Of course, she's going to root for him and support him. Her being there, I don't think we have to boo
But Connie
that.
says, I think it's because they show her as much as the team. But here's my thought. This has literally nothing to do with her. She is just
She's
showing
not telling
up.
them to put the camera on her. She's by no means
Right.
asking for it. And I didn't think they showed her that much. Well, the Chiefs were losing, so I assume we would have seen her more if the outcome was different. But I felt like we only saw her a couple times.
James says she paid to be there with her own money, not our taxes. Kelly says people are stupid. Don't want to see her interested in the game. Connie
Fair.
says you don't see Haley at all. Well, why is that? I mean, is that
I
because
always
she's
wonder why
not?
not.
Here are my two thoughts. Number one, I don't think Haley is as big a
Celebrity.
draw as Taylor Swift is. She's a celebrity, sure, but like not as A-list as Taylor Swift is. But I mean, like they are showing her for a reason. She's not like asking for the attention. She is there supporting her partner, and to be treated as like a pariah, I think is tough.
I think it's a combination of a bunch of factors, right? Like people already, when you are, they say likability is a prison.
Mhm.
When you are well liked, people are going to start to turn on you. Taylor Swift, very well liked,
Sure.
has the biggest tour ever. People are shelling out thousands of dollars to go and see her. So people are going to find an issue with her somehow, some way.
Mhm.
Likability, also an issue for the Chiefs because they've won 2 years in a row. People are tired of them. And then you combine those two and put her with one of the popular guys on the team. And people are just like, oh, I'm tired of this, which is okay, to say, I don't want to see more of that. But then don't boo her.
And to Barbara's point here, like this is kind of what I'm saying. If anyone should be
Mm.
booed, it's the NFL for exploiting her celebrity. Like this is
Right.
not on her.
They're making money off of her being there. They're like, oh, the more we show Taylor Swift, the more people will talk about it. Let's just keep showing
But
her.
do we actually think that Taylor Swift wants the recognition?
If
Like
didn't
she
want it,
doesn't
wouldn't
need
know.
the recognition. She
Yeah.
is who she is. Like she is Taylor Swift. She is one of the biggest names in the world.
Imagine if she doesn't go. What does
Right.
that say? Taylor Swift doesn't go to the Super Bowl to support her boyfriend after they've had a very public relationship. Like, of course she's going to be there.
Right.
I mean, like, if your significant other was there, you would go.
Exactly.
I don't know.
You can't be Taylor Swift and not get attention, wanted or unwanted. Exactly, Kelly. And Danielle, exactly. She doesn't need it. She doesn't need the attention. Lori,
Yeah.
Haley doesn't need to be seen there at the game each time. If Connie says if she didn't, she could say, stop the camera on me.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
Mark
but, like,
says,
no, you can't, because here's the thing. Like,
what is she going to say? Don't put
right.
the camera on me?
Oh, no,
or like
please don't show me.
cover herself or something? Because then she's making a big deal out of it.
Right.
And then that's
Then
going
it
to get
becomes
out.
A snowball.
Mhm.
Like this is, and also like you have no expectation. You cannot have an expectation of privacy in that kind of a situation.
Well, Mark says, I don't want to see any celebrity at all, but that never happens. They love to show the people who were there. Bradley Cooper
Right.
was there. Pete Davidson is there. Paul Rudd is a big Chiefs fan. I mean, we saw all those people a bunch of times, but like Taylor's the one that gets the booze.
Elizabeth says she was there just as much as all the other celebrities were there. We didn't
Right.
boo Paul Rudd for being there. And that's my point. Like,
He's
is it
supporting the
because,
same team.
is it because she's a woman that we feel that she is less than and doesn't
Mm-mm.
deserve? I just think it's interesting. It's got to be something that is thought of, because she is a global sensation.
Lauren kind of putting the period at the end of the sentence, as I would say, no one will ever be satisfied
It's true.
with this. But I am a little bit satisfied that the Chiefs lost.
Me too. I'm a lot satisfied.
I'm happy with the outcome. At the end of the day, the Bills put something out on social media. They were saying, the next season starts now. We're looking ahead. The draft is at the end of April, near our birthdays.
April 24th.
And they're looking ahead to that and what happens next. Everyone wants the Bills to get Myles Garrett from the Browns. So we will see. We will see.
Are people taking off from work because of the Super Bowl? Did you take off work today? Did you decide that you were sick after the Super Bowl? Crystal weighing in here saying, it's a great question, Ed, especially with today's social climate. But see, Connie, that's not true. That's not
at the Super
true.
Bowl, there's always celebrities.
Yeah.
Beyonce was there last year.
Danielle says, we need to amp up our defense.
High key. She's right about that.
Anita says, the Eagles won. The focus should be on that. Now go Bills. Peter says he's working. We are too.
We're here.
We're happy to
late.
be here. Because Sherry says, sack, sack, sack. Was it a sack? Yes. Okay, so listen to this poll. More than 22.5 million Americans plan to miss work today, which is up 40% from last year. 2% will call in sick. 2% won't show up. The majority say it was a pre-approved day off. Now, if the Bills, let me lift the curtain for you. If the Bills had made it to the Super Bowl, the two of us were supposed to be in New Orleans. We also would have been working on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
And this week, if the Bills would have won the Super Bowl, would have been insane here in Buffalo.
Today would have been quite the day. It would have been so cool.
I can only hope for next season.
That still stings a little bit. We should have been there. The team should have been there. You and I should have been there. How fun would that have been to be in the Big Easy? Just
Next season.
enjoying. But yeah,
Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
see ya.